Hey guys, welcome to today's video. Today I'm going to be telling you all the story about when I pissed off Nicolas Cage and he yelled at me. Basically, I'm talking about celebrities behaving badly. And if you've watched my channel for any amount of time, you'll know that I've worked in the service industry for over 30 years and I have had run-ins with all kinds of people. Some people are nice, some people are not so nice. I consider people to be just people. If you have a good job that pays you well and you have a talent that you get recognized for, I think that's fantastic. I've never really been starstruck, but I've certainly waited on a lot of celebrities, and this one in particular we're going to talk about today was a doozy. So if that sounds interesting, then stick around because we are going to get started right now. I'm going to go ahead and put my hair up and prime my eyeballs, and we're going to start playing with some makeup today. And not just any makeup. We're going to go ahead and play with some Chantecaille makeup today, and I am so excited because I've been wanting to share this with you guys for a moment, and this story, and oh god, this story. I'm going to be playing with some really fancy makeup today, some overpriced makeup that I'm really excited to have. And what this is a food server's nightmare. Okay, so hair's up and eyes are primed and hair is way up, high up, but that's all right because, you know, we're having a good time, we're relaxed, we're playing with makeup. It's all good. It's fun. Why not rock a fun hairdo today? Just, you know, have a good time with it. Okay, so what am I going to start with first? I think I'm going to do my eyes first, since I've already primed my eyeballs. So we're going to hop into this really beautiful, Chantecaille quad today, and I've been just fawning over this and loving it. It's wanting it for so long, and I'm finally going to go ahead and try this today. So we're going to play with this. Look at yourself. Can you see? No, you can't really see. So we're going to play with this quad today, and it's absolutely gorgeous. So pretty, and just create a nice little subdued look while I share this story with you guys. So maybe I'll just use this mirror. All right, I haven't grabbed any brushes because I'm so well prepared like that. Is this the brush I want to use? No, I'm gonna try. So a handful of years ago, I worked in room service. I've worked in almost every area of food service you can come up with. I've done it all. You know, restaurant work, catering, banquets, room service, craft service, what I do now. I mean, I've just been in food service for a very long time. Let's put it this way. And at the time, I was working in room service in Vegas. Wow, that is a lot darker on the lid than it is in the pan. That's kind of surprising. Okay, Chantecaille, that's cool. So I was working in room service, and it was a place that was not only for people to rent rooms and stay, but it was also a part of the hotel where people were residents. So it was a mixed bag, and Nicolas Cage happened to live there. He was, you know, one of the residents. At first when I started working there, I was working in the restaurant, and there were quite a few times where the people who were working in room service at the time would pull me aside and ask me if I would help them run food up to his room. You know, it was always table service. It was just something that, you know, you just roll the table up to the room and you walk it in and they sign for it and, you know, you go on your merry way. Well, what I knew right off the bat is that there were a couple of people that absolutely refused to go to that room. They didn't want to go. They didn't want to take care of him. And I would go and I didn't even run into him, to be honest, for a while. Other people would answer the door. I don't know if it was his girlfriend or nanny or what was going on, because, listen, I don't really follow celebrities. I just don't. I'm not a starstruck individual. It's, you know, I can honestly say that for a long time, I really liked Nicolas Cage's movies. I could say that I really enjoyed his work. I always thought he was very talented. But it wasn't to the point where I was like, oh my gosh, ooh, he's famous and I hope I get to see Nicolas Cage. It was never like that. I could care less. To me, if you're someone who is, you know, talented and you're an actor and you're recognized for your talent and you've, you know, created that success for yourself and you've made it, I'm happy for you. I think it's great. But if I see you in person, as far as I'm concerned, you're a person. You're a person with a really great job who gets paid really well. I mean, I would think, I would hope, but you're still a person. We're all people. Some of us make more money than others. It's just the way it is, you know, but I don't think that just because someone is famous that they're better than anyone else. I just don't. And maybe because that society, and even with YouTube, I mean, I think that if you're told that you're awesome and you're amazing and blah, 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 long enough by enough people, maybe you start to really believe it, that, you know, you're the most amazing thing that ever walked the face of the planet. I have no idea. I don't know how that, you know, clicks into someone's brain where they start to believe that they're better than everyone else. And I think with him, I think that there were other things in play. That's actually really pretty. I like that. I'm going to jump into my little Natasha Denona palette and deepen this up a little bit because I just feel like it needs a bit more depth. Let me just do that really quick. I'm not using my deal here. I don't know. So anyway, so I had helped before drop tables off to the room and then gone on my merry way. There wasn't ever any real incident. I did finally jump from the restaurant over to room service because it was far more lucrative. Even though I was working overnights on Fridays and Saturdays, it still was better for me financially than it was working in the restaurant. So I, you know, would hop over and you're basically working by yourself. It was me and the chef after everyone went home. And I also had one swing shift that was on Wednesdays. And swing is usually you go in from 2 to 10. So 2 p.m. to 10 at night was the swing shift. And it was a nice, relaxing shift for me, and I got to be around other people that were working in the restaurant. I wasn't completely by myself, so that was kind of nice. And thankfully, when this incident occurred, it was on the swing shift. Because if I had been by myself, it would have been a disaster of epic proportions, truly. So I'm really glad that I wasn't alone, that it was on a Wednesday when this transpired, because yeah, I would have been screwed. Now we're gonna hop into this really pretty blue here. That's nice. So one night I was working the swing shift. It was on a Wednesday, like I already said, and it was, I want to say it was around maybe, I think it was about 5 in the evening. I'm not 100% sure. It was around, it wasn't super late and it wasn't super early. I was just in my shift doing my thing and the order came in from his room. Now what happens is that there's a computer. I'm not really answering the phone. There's someone that's over in the main building that's answering phones, taking orders, and what they do is they send a check over. It pops over in the computer, a little ticket comes out and you read it, and you know, an order goes to the kitchen and then you get to see your order yourself and you start getting stuff together. So the name is on there. It wasn't Nick Cage. It's a specific name that he had, but I knew immediately whose room it was, and I was like, okay. So he was ordering what he would normally order. Well, what he ordered a lot, I'm going to say, is that it's a couple bottles of champagne, another large bottle of alcohol. I can't remember if it was whiskey or not. It doesn't really matter, but the bill itself usually came out to like over $2,000. I kid you not. And it would happen 2-3 times an evening that these orders would be placed from his room. Over $2 grand, $3 grand, it would get up there because, you know, when you order stuff from hotels, from room service, it's not cheap. It's really pricey. Something that you can go ahead and buy from like Bevmo if you're a cocktailer. You know, I don't begrudge anyone a cocktail. You know, I personally am sober and I thank God for that. Totally good with it. Anyone who wants to have a cocktail, I don't mind. By all means, go ahead. If you can handle it and you're good with it, you do you, man. It's totally fine. And he would cocktail a lot. He would order these bottles often, and it is an auto gratuity of 20% that goes on every check that comes in. You're already making a decent amount right there, and a lot of times people would tip on top of that. So you would, you know, I did pretty well. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I only had to work 3 days a week, 8-hour shifts, and I made a pretty decent amount of money just doing that. It wasn't difficult at all. I mean, stress-wise, it could be pretty difficult, but financially, it was worth it for me when I was doing that. So, you know, you can't really complain. So I started getting everything together. Basically, you do a table with a napkin, not a napkin, you like a tablecloth, and you get it all nice and done up, this, that, and the other. And I had been warned on many occasions about him, and a couple of people that just flat out, like I said, refused to wait on him, and I hadn't had any problems. So for me, it was like, you know, I hadn't even really seen him. So I thought, oh, you know, it's no big deal. It's just another order. I'm just doing another order. It doesn't really matter to me. I'm not starstruck. This, that, or the other. Whether I liked his movies or not was neither here nor there. Wasn't going to change my behavior I'm just going to do my job like I would, you know, do it for anyone. So I'm getting everything all prepared, and I'm rolling on up to the room. Let me go ahead and put a little of this lighter shade on the inner corner of my eye. Which one do I want? This little champagne one. That's kind of pretty. Look at that. What do we see? Camera? Again, I'm not even really reviewing this. I'm just kind of like putting this right here. Let's see if we like this. Can do a little gradient of champagne into blue. Yeah, that's working. It's very gentle. I'm actually, what I'm doing is I'm just mixing both of these now, the champagne and the gold, because why not? Just have them both play together on the lid right here, and I think it looks nice. And again, I'm not wetting the brush or anything. It's showing up just beautifully without any real effort at all. It's gorgeous. It's gorgeous. Just want to get this kind of going before I continue on my story. Yeah, it's really pretty. Okay. It's very shiny. Do I have any fallout? It's a little fallouty, yeah. It is. That's okay. I don't know. There are worse things. I gotta get this rocking and rolling, or else I'm gonna run out of story and my face isn't gonna be done. So, oh, look at that. I just rubbed that right in, didn't I? Cool. Okay. I had to get a little bit further along with my face makeup, or else I would have run out of story and just been sitting here quietly continuing to put on my makeup, and that would have been kind of weird, but you know. Although I'm good with weird, that would have been a little like too weird. So the order comes in, and I am collecting everything I need, and I go to take it upstairs to be delivered. Now, did someone tell me? I think I'd heard that he had an accident working on one of his shows. He was doing a movie at the time, and something happened to where he had hurt himself. I don't know if I found that out like the week before or what the deal was. This is the, what is this bronzer anyway? This is Sirena. I love this bronzer. I haven't talked to you guys about it either, but this is a beautiful cool tone bronzer from Chantecaille. $78. I'm gonna leave the prices of everything and all that down below in the description box, so if you guys are interested, you can go ahead and check it out there. Totally sidetracked, but you know, thought I'd throw that in there. Anyway, I'm like, where's my face? It's gone. So I'm getting everything all ready, the order. There's also like a little food, so you set up the table, get the food and all that stuff ready, and I run it up there to his room, and I had been told, and like I said, that he had had some kind of accident where he had been injured, so I'd already known that. I didn't know to what extent. I didn't really know all the stuff. I just know that something had happened. My friend that I worked with had told me, and I was like, okay, no, whatever. Again, I'm not really thinking much about it. I'm just basically going on about my life, just doing my job, trying to make a living like we all do when we go to work, you know? It's just, it is what it is. It's just another day on the job, and I'm dropping off this order. I was actually really glad to have it because it's a decent tip that's already there for me. My night's already basically done just from running this one room. So I'm just kind of like, okay, I was actually really stoked. Zero stress as far as I was concerned. So I get up there and knock on the door. He comes to the door. He's in a wheelchair. So I'm able to maneuver past him and bring the table into the room so that I can get everything set up. There's also a table there that had been sitting. So I guess he had already ordered before I'd shown up, and it was just him. There was no one else there. And come in with the table, and I see him, you know, he wheels into the living room area where I'm setting up the table and stuff. And here's the deal. Here's how everything got started. Super great. I had said to him, I don't know why, I have this like, what is it? Like I said, when I look and I see just a person, I don't always think before I speak, and sometimes, you know, I got mom jokes, and they're not always freaking great. So what happens in this scenario? It was the bad joke heard around the world, let's put it that way. And I had said something to the effect of, oh God, it's so horrible. It's so cringy, but this is what I had said. I said, what did you do? Did you break your foot kicking someone's ass in a movie? So dumb, so bad. I know, it's really bad. It's terrible, but my intention was just to be goofy and lighthearted and to be silly. I knew it wasn't like the most amazing joke in the world. I was just, you know, just saying something to say it. I'm thinking, here's a person who's in pain. Maybe I could say something goofy, make them laugh. That's really where I was coming from. That's it. I didn't think anything other than that, truly. That was it. And in that instant, I looked at him, he looked at me, his face contorted into this unbelievable, just seething anger, rage. I was standing there just kind of like, I'm like, oh, you know, when you work with the public for X amount of years, you get a certain feeling like, you know, when something's gone horribly awry. I got that feeling. Oh my God. He flips out and starts screaming at me. You, how dare you say that to me? Who the do you think you are coming in here and saying that to me? I'm injured. I'm in pain. What the do you think you're doing? Okay. Kept telling me, get the Oh my God. All the blood drained from my face. My stomach just dropped into my feet. I'm standing there just completely shocked, like, oh my God, oh my God. I just blanked out. All I could think of was, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Don't you say sorry to me. Out. Okay. I grabbed the table that is dirty and I get myself out of that room. I don't bother to get the signature of his ticket for his room. None of it. I'm done. I'm out the door, and he is still yelling. He is still freaking out as I am exiting the room, and I'm just completely just floored, and I'm just terrified. My brain is just spinning, and I'm like kind of like shaking. I'm like, oh dear God, what the hell just happened? We have a special elevator that we can go up and down to get from the restaurant to the people's rooms and stuff. I get on that elevator, go downstairs. Immediately, a phone call has been made to management from Nick Cage and our little moment together. Before I even come off the elevator door, I'm already in trouble. So not only was I just completely freaked out and not knowing what to say and or do, I was already in trouble before I even got back down to the floor where I work, you know. And the manager that was on at the time, that's so terrible, really nice kid. So honestly, he basically came up to me, he's like, you know, so what happened? And now I think I need to jump into blush really quick before I continue on with this. Wait, you know what I'm going to do? Let's grab a little of this Charlotte Tilbury and slap that on my face real quick because I need a little highlight. Let's have a little glow before we move on. Oh my gosh, you guys. It was, I can't even to this day. To this day, I can't even. It was just like, okay. Grab a little blush and we'll keep it moving. My Chantecaille blush, which is one of my favorite blushes, where the hell is it? It was here just a second ago. Where are you, little blush? I just had it. How come it went away? Okay. Okay, so he comes up to me and I'm still incredibly frazzled. I mean, I am just like, oh, it's literally just like, it's so bad. He asked what happened and I explained. I'm like, dude, I screwed up. I didn't mean to this, that, or the other. It was a mistake and I'm so embarrassed and, and we talk it out and he's fine and there's no real whatever, problem. It's just, it is what it is. Don't let that happen again. Yada, yada. If I heard that once, I heard it a million times, but it wasn't like the big, oh no, terrible, I wasn't fired, I wasn't, wasn't like that, because my intention was not to cause any major upsetness. It was just a stupid joke. So, we go on about our night and he's saying to me, oh, he's such a big fan of Nick Cage and he's always been a big fan of his work and he can't believe he got to talk to him on the phone, this, that, and the other, and and he smoothed it all out and don't worry and this, that, and blah, 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 and I talked to him and yada, yada, yada. I'm like, great, I don't care. I don't want to deal with any of that anymore. I'm just done. I am just done. I have a little hair on my face. I can feel it. So if he had talked to him and figured it out, I honestly, I didn't even want to deal with it anymore. I was like, I understood what my other coworkers were talking about when they said they didn't want to go up there. They didn't want to deal with him because it was crazy. I've been yelled at in my day. And as far as like the levels of yelled at, this is way up there in being yelled at in my, you know, working career with food and stuff. That didn't even work. That wasn't even anything. I'm just like remembering it. It's like sense memory. You just know that, no, I don't want to go near it. I don't want to get, you know, just so not down for that. But anyway, so my night goes on and another order comes in.
Run for your lives, everyone!
So I'm looking at it and I'm thinking, oh dear God, it's happening again. Yeah, I wasn't thrilled. I was freaking out. I was like, oh, okay, this is not good. So I'm looking at the order, and at first I didn't say anything because, again, I have to keep a level of professionalism. I have to do my job. Whether I like someone or not is neither here nor there. You know, you still got to do your job and put on some highlighter. And this one's so cute. So this is Chantecaille also. I love this embossing. It's just so pretty. And I'm going to grab my little tapered brush. I'm going to put on a little highlighter. It feels kind of dry. It feels very dry and powdery and not very glowy. Okay, let's give this a try and see what happens. Let me try this Luminescent. See if I see anything. Oh yeah, wow. Initially when I swatched it, I didn't really see a whole lot, so that's very deceiving. That's very pretty. That's a lot nicer and a lot beamier than I thought it was going to be. Freaking cool. All right, so I'm starting to get the order together, and my stomach is in knots, you guys. You know, I don't want to go back up there again. I don't want to deal with it again. I'm already completely embarrassed and freaked out and a little pissed, to be honest. I was starting to get pissed. Once the fear started to wear off, I was starting to get angry. I was like, that's ridiculous, you know? I mean, I get it. We're not best friends. We're not road dogs. He doesn't freaking know me, but truly, I was just trying to be, you know, cordial and funny, albeit not funny, whatever. You would have thought that I'd walked in there and took a crap on his rug. Truly. All I did was say some stupid joke that wasn't funny. Okay, but my gosh, really? To the level it went to? Oh, I didn't want to go up there again. I thought, this is ridiculous. I don't want to deal with this crap. But again, I got to do my job. It is what it is. As things are starting to get closer and closer to being done, I start to feel more and more nauseous, you know, sick to my stomach. Just kind of like, I don't want to deal with this. I don't want to deal with this. What am I going to do? What am I going to do? Right now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put on some lashes and I'm going to come back and we're going to finish talking about this, so bear with me. Okay. But I'm bummed. See, another bad joke. But you're not going to, you know, tell me to fuck myself just because I gave you a bad joke, right?
Not after all we've been through.
So we're back. And I got my lashes and my liner on. Let's continue on with the story. We'll wrap this up. All right, so a lot of times in the food service industry, you are presented with think fast moments. I don't know how else to say it, but you have to think fast. And in that moment when everything was already done and ready to go up to the room, I realized right here with me, my manager is like the man who heads up his fan club. I have the #1 fan right here with me, who is in fact going to go up to this room with me right now because I am not going alone. So I went ahead and I grabbed my manager and I said, listen, considering what has transpired, I would like you to come with me to deliver this food to make sure everything runs smoothly. I'm not going to say a word. I'd like you to go in, collect the check that's already in there and present him with this one so I can, you know, stand back and stay out of the fray. No problem. He's super excited, ready to go, you know. Glad that I even came up with it. Super great, happy, up we go, and I'm still terrified. We get to the room, and I walk in. He walks in ahead of me. I walk in behind him with the table. This is the one of the new Juvia's Place lip glosses. I'll talk about it more in a later video, but I'm going to play with this today. and hopefully my lashes are on right. I can't really tell. I can never tell. I never tell until I'm like editing, and then I'm like, how did I not know that wasn't on proper? If it's not on right, it's okay. I'll just look silly and that'll be that. So I walk into the room and I hear a familiar voice. And in the room is one of my customers that I have waited on in the restaurant downstairs. He's actually someone that we've all gone out together and hung out and played like slots and stuff, and he's a really nice guy. And I hear him laughing in there with Nicolas Cage, and I come in with the table and we make eye contact, he and I smile and nod, he smiles back, and then I literally walked out of the room after that, just dropped it off and let my manager go ahead and take over from there, because like I said, I wasn't going to say or do anything else. I wasn't going to take any more verbal anything. I wasn't going to say anything else, put my foot in my mouth. I realized I made a mistake. Nothing else from me. That's it. So I'm outside in the hallway, and suddenly I hear Nicolas Cage going off about how he thinks I'm the most amazing room service person in the world, and I deserve a raise, and I did a fantastic job, and he thinks I'm just fabulous, going on and on and on. What had happened is, this gentleman that I knew and had hung out with my other friends, he likes us all from downstairs in the restaurant, he's a nice guy, this, that, and the other, he's a cool guy. I guess he is friends with Nick Cage, and he had gone over there to visit with him after I had dropped off the big fiasco and had that occur in my life, which really, really sucked, and told him, listen, Jen's a really nice girl. I know her personally. I'm sure she didn't mean it. He went ahead and explained me as a person to him so that he could understand and no longer be upset with me. Thank God, because that sucked. That is really pretty. So he was basically there doing damage control unbeknownst to me, and by the time I showed up to drop off the food, it was all bygones, and he decided that he liked me again, which worked out well in my favor because I continued to work there for a little bit longer before I ended up getting engaged and coming back here to California. So yeah, it was a run-in, and there were a lot of things that had gone on there with Nicolas Cage and the people that he was hanging out with that were, you know, surprising. A lot of things wound up on E! Entertainment. I'm sure if you guys hadn't heard some years ago that things had happened. I think I was working there that night that something really big went down, but it had nothing to do with me, thank God. But yeah, since then, and everything was cleared up by my friend, he and I never had a problem again. And I, again, didn't really see him that often again. More often than not, it was nannies and other people that would come to the door to get the food and stuff. So after that, it wasn't really an issue because I don't think I ever saw him, but maybe like once again after that. And I remained quiet, didn't really say much. Even when it was other people answering the door, I kept myself quiet. They just signed the check and I'd be on my merry way. No more jokes for me whatsoever. You know what I forgot to do though? I forgot to use this eyeshadow, which is so beautiful. The single eyeshadow palettes, one of their single shadows. And I think this is the Philanthropy line, if I'm not mistaken. It would make a really beautiful highlight. Even though I'm already wearing highlight, I kind of want to dip into this really quick just to see what happens. So let's zhuzh that on there. I'm already so glowy, you're not even going to see it. That's so pretty. How about my brow bone? Let's try that. Oh, that's so gorgeous. Oh my gosh, I love it. Ah, it is so pretty. All right. So yeah, that was my hair-raising experience with Nicolas Cage, and the time that he, you know, freaked out on me and kind of, you know, went nuts. And I don't condone that kind of behavior, although that I have dealt with it many times in my years of doing this. It's a hard job. It really is. It can be very, very difficult, and people don't realize that, you know, once you put on that apron or that name tag, it's almost like you're a second-class citizen in a way. And it shouldn't be that way, but if you work in the business like I do, you'll understand what I'm saying. And I don't mean that in a disparaging way whatsoever. It's just, it seems like once you put that on, you're just basically, it's like you're public property. Like if someone is having a bad day, they can just go ahead and unload that on you, and you have to deal with it because you're on the clock. Well, I don't agree with that mentality at all. You know, I know there are times where I may have run-ins with people and I'm in, you know, dealing in customer service, like if I'm waiting on an order, like I've talked about where I've done mini rants and stuff like that, let me just let you guys know, when I'm upset about something, I will start the conversation with saying, listen, I know it's not your fault. I'm sorry, or something along those lines. You know, I apologize. I feel really frustrated right now. I can't even remember a time that I personally went off on someone like that, you know, with the swear words and the yelling and the freaking. I just can't remember, because I'm always aware that I put on that apron too, and that's a person. I'm talking to a human being, whatever position you're in, whether you're bagging groceries or, you know, helping someone pick out an outfit in a clothing store or serving them. You're a person, you're trying to make a living. It's not an easy job, and sometimes people just don't behave proper. And I don't care what you do for a living, you just don't have the right to treat a person like crap just because they're wearing a uniform. So, you know, that's my take on that. And this is the finished look. I actually really like how things turned out. It's kind of pretty. I'm not sure, is this lash wonky? I think this lash is totally wonky right now. And it probably has been for the whole video. And for that, I'm sorry. It's my dirty mirror. But wonky lash or not, I really do like how this turned out. It is a very beautiful formula. I have to say, Chantecaille, so incredibly high priced, but so absolutely gorgeous. I really do love their products. And even though this right here it's pretty basic and you can't go a lot of ways with it, I don't really mind it. You know, actually, to be honest, I think this is a really lovely formula. It's a really beautiful quad. And sometimes, you know, I don't want to have a whole lot of stuff. I don't like large eyeshadow palettes anyway. I find them too difficult to deal with because I just can't pick one thing, and I end up trying to figure out what I want to do with a whole bunch of shades. So when it's a smaller amount to choose from, it's a lot easier for my brain to process, because, you know, I guess I'm just kind of weird like that. It's just what I like. So anyway, I'm really glad I got to play with this stuff today. I will get back to you on my thoughts on the Juvia's Place, and you know, it's not really so much a review, like I said, because a lot of these products have been out for a very long time, and I just wanted to go ahead and crack into them and give them a go, and they're just gorgeous. High priced, but gorgeous. I mean, to me anyway, I think they're absolutely, I really love how this look turned out. It's just, I'm loving it. And the story, you know, let me know what you guys think. I mean, if you're a fan of Nick Cage, and I'm sorry, I'm sure he's not like that all the time. I guess let's give the guy a benefit of the doubt. I mean, I haven't dealt with him in many, many years, but I can honestly tell you, whenever I see a movie of his come up right now, even to this day, I feel a certain way. I don't gravitate towards his films anymore. I just don't. And he does a lot of B movies, and I love B movies. I do. I don't know. I know they're cheesy and ridiculous. I love all kinds of movies, but B movies have a special place in my heart. I don't watch them. I don't watch them. It's after that, it was just so. It left such a feeling that, you know, someone that I really did admire for leaving Las Vegas, all these incredible movies, this talent that this man has, and now it's just kind of like, now, sometimes you don't want to meet the people. Sometimes you don't. Sometimes it's better to let them stay on screen and be who you think they are, because the reality is not always pretty. So anyway, guys, that is it for today's video. I just want to thank you so much for sticking around and watching. I love you all so very much. I really do appreciate you. I hope you all are safe, and I hope you all are having a beautiful day. Thanks. Bye. All right. Oh, there's that cord sticking out. You don't want that there. It's not good. I'm about to get started. Wait. So if that sounds good, wait, that sounded, why? 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 So if that sounds interesting, so if that sounds, dude, I'm like, if I say it one more time, I'm gonna lose my, what if I can put my hair up without looking terrible? Yeah, that's good. It's not good. I look hideous. That's awesome. Okay, great. Bye. Actually, if you say it even though I want to.